Alright, Big Mike back again for Wrestling Rants and Reviews, and this is yet another questions and answers video. That's right, it's Q&A time. Once again here at Wrestling Rants and Reviews. And again, it's funny, I got like 8 questions to answer. And it's funny because there's only 3 people asking the 8 questions. There's 2 people that are each asking 1, and then another person is asking me 6. So I figured I would just answer them all. I'm not going to weed through them. I'm going to be a gracious enough host and answer all his questions, and I just picked the best 3. And I figured 8 would be enough questions to answer because you know how I like to ramble on. So let's get to it, shall we? First person asked me a question was "Don't fuck it up," and the fuck is fuck is like cock, like cocking. So pretty cool name there. Don't fuck up. 28. He asked me my favorite TNA wrestler. My favorite TNA wrestler is Kurt Angle. Currently it's Kurt Angle. I also like Kazarian, but Kurt Angle's my favorite. He's like one of my favorite all time. So I'm gonna pick Kurt Angle. He's just done it all in both companies, WWE or TNA. He's a pure athlete. He's always giving it 110%. Some people might call him crazy, but it's Kurt freaking Angle. You know? Some of you guys might think I'm crazy. You guys might like other people like AJ Styles and whatnot. But hey, I said Kazarian as well. Kazarian could be up there with Angle any day. Robert Roode. There you go. I just give you top 3 guys. Top 3 guys. Weird guy, fellow stablemate in the IWWS, asks me my favorite wrestlers of all time for each of the following promotions. TNA, already answered. WWE, WCW, ECW, and ROH. Wow, I really don't know. WWE, it's a toss-up because I want to go with Steamboat just because he's my favorite wrestler of all time, period. But then I want to go with Austin, but he was also one of my favorites in WCW. And I also want to go with Edge. He was my favorite, because because Austin was gone, and because Steamboat was gone. So if I can name 3, just like I did for TNA, for Don't Fuck Up, I'm going to say those 3 people for WWE. Austin, Steamboat, and Edge of all time. WCW, again, there's Austin. I liked him. Who else I like? Lance Storm when he was in WCW. He had a good gimmick, even though it was near the end of WCW, where WCW sucked. I liked Sting. All-time favorite. I even liked Lash LaRue. He was one of my favorites. I loved watching Lashley wrestle. He was great. He might have been a mid-carder cruiserweight guy, but he was awesome to watch. Chris Jericho was one of my favorites to watch. The whole conspiracy thing. He was just funny. He was an entertainer. My all-time favorite WCW. I don't know. I just mentioned a bunch of other guys. I'm sorry if I'm not giving you straight answers, but I'm not into one person unless they're my all-time favorites, and I've already mentioned it. So Sting, Austin, I liked Pillman. I love Lash LaRue. Whoever else I mentioned there. In ECW, it's got to be the one and only RVD. He was the man. He was just awesome. So was Mike Awesome, actually, no pun intended. Mike Awesome, RVD. Some great people. Shane Douglas. I'm a huge fan of Shane Douglas as well. The franchise. Yeah, I'm sorry if I can't just pick one of all time. Like I said, I have my all-time favorites But and then I guess just for the rest of the promotion, I just have my favorites. You know, currently in ROH right now, I love Davey Richards. He's awesome, best in the world. Eddie Edwards is awesome too. Kevin Steen, when he was there, tearing shit up, very awesome. Danielson, when he was there. Um, Michael Elgin, I'm a huge mark for, you know, just because it's Michael Elgin, and I've actually shared the locker room with him quite a few times. Um, you know, I've seen him evolve since like '06. He just amazes me all the time. Love Truth Martini as a manager. Love to follow in his footsteps. Um, so yeah, I'm sorry if I'm all over the place with who my favorites are. I don't all-time favorites ROH. You know, yeah. You know, there's so many of them. Nigel was awesome too when he was there. You know, Colt Cabana's great. Jamie Noble, like aka James Gibson, was awesome when he was there. Samoa Joe, you know, there's so much pure wrestling in ROH. You can't go wrong with picking anybody. So again, I apologize if I wasn't clear. But yeah. Moving on now. The next 6 questions come from WWE Titan Fan 27. He said I didn't have to mention his name just because you know, he doesn't have much going on his channel, but he loves watching everybody said. So you know, he's basically a viewer and a subscriber to a lot of people. So, but anyways, I do thank you for your next 6 questions. My favorite all-time WWE match. I'll list you my top 3, and they go as Steamboat, Macho Man. Obviously, I remember seeing it because I did watch WrestleMania 3. I've watched all the WrestleManias ever since I was little. I don't really remember watching it when I was that age, but through the years, you know, obviously I've watched it, and it really, really is awesome. You know, for that time frame, awesome stuff. Very compelling. Another, I guess that wasn't a WWE match, was it? That was a WWF match. So, I hope you just want WWE/WWF. Because, well, WrestleMania 19, HBK, Jericho, awesome. One of my favorite matches of all time. I also enjoyed Austin Rock from WrestleMania 17. So there you go. Those are some of my favorite matches. All time. Again, just like these other ones, I can't pick just one because I love it all. You know, there's so many that stand out to me. So many. My favorite Money in the Bank match, I think, is going to have to be the very first one. The very first Money in the Bank. Just because it was new. You know, you had Shelton Benjamin in there, RVD. You know, you had some great people. You know, Chris Jericho. You know, he had some great competitors in there. It was the first one, never seen before. Seen Shelton do some crazy shit. You know, yeah, so that's going to have to be my very favorite one. Next to maybe WrestleMania 23 with the one where Anderson won. Or not Anderson, well, he's Anderson now, but Kennedy. That was very cool, too. I witnessed it live. You know, there was that 6 spot with Jeff Hardy and stuff. But Money in the Bank, number 1, would have to be it. Question 3, do you think CM Punk is rolling WWE? Or really leaving WWE? If so, will he ever come back? If so, how long down the road? I think he really is leaving WWE unless things change between now and then. They can give him some sort of great deal. And it's too bad. If so, will he ever come back? I think you can see him come back if WWE lets him come back. Depends what he does with his time off. If he goes to another company such like TNA, WWE, yeah, I think WWE would take him back regardless because they brought Christian back, they brought Booker, you know, so I think it would just depend on what happened and if see if Punk wants to go back. If he goes back and he doesn't go anywhere else and he just takes time off to recoup and revamp himself, I could see him come back in a year or so. Just take the time off, recuperate, just enjoy life for a little while. And I could see him come back in a year or so, because it's not like he's old, and he still has a lot to offer. So, yeah, that's that. If Mr. Kennedy hadn't been released, how big do you think he would be right now in the company? Oh, wow. I think he'd be in Christian's spot. I think he would have been there a lot sooner. But yeah, he'd be in Christian's spot. He'd be over on SmackDown as one of the top dogs. I think it's how big he'd be. Maybe he hadn't had the title, wouldn't have had the title yet. And if he hadn't, he'd be very close to getting it, like right around now. That's why I mean Christian time. Because when he came back, he was just off an injury. And then apparently he got injured, but no, he didn't. And he was in the main event with like Randy Orton and stuff. So I think if he would have stayed at the main event status, he would be a big player right now in WWE. Do you think Matt Hardy deserved a world title push in WWE? No. No. Not that I hate Matt Hardy. I think Matt Hardy's great. I like him as a performer better than Matt or Jeff. Jeff is just a flippity-flop guy. I'll dive off anything. Just let me know what you want me to dive off of, and I'll do it. Matt Hardy is a little bit smarter that way. A little bit better wrestler that way. But I don't think he deserved a world title push. He just didn't have the look. He just didn't have it. They only gave it to Jeff Hardy because he had the crowd behind him. And it made for a good feud with CM Punk. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, I don't think Matt deserved a push. Maybe good. Maybe he could have been a stellar Intercontinental Champion or something like that. Brought back some life to the IC title and made it worth something. But no world title. If WWE ends up deciding to push Zack Ryder, A, how big of a push, and B, should it be with him as face or heel? He should be just top mid-card guy. I don't think Zack Ryder should be WWE champion by any means. He's hilarious. He's got great charisma. He's an entertainer. And since WWE took out the word wrestling in his or in their moniker, WWE World Wrestling Entertainment, since they took out wrestling, they should focus more on entertainment. And that's exactly what Zack Ryder is, an entertainer, and he's great at it. So yeah, maybe like an awesome Intercontinental Champion or U.S. title holder. And I think he should be face, because he's got all these guys following him now from YouTube, and off the Twitter and shit like that. So he's slowly turning face without the WWE making him face. So I think if they made him face, he could be very good. Like Edge. He's got the Edge character to him. And when Edge and Christian were a tag team, that's the type of character I see in Zack Ryder. Just, I don't know why, I just see it a little bit. So who knows? If they keep pushing him, if they give him a push now, maybe in 4 years he could be world champion, or 5 years. But right now they're only going to push him, and maybe he could be top mid-card. So anyways, those are your questions. They're WWE Titan Fan 27. Hopefully I answered them to my best knowledge and conviction. Hopefully, they're good enough for you, and good enough for Weird Guy, and good enough for Don't Fuck Up 28. So yeah, hopefully, like I said, I answered them to the best. So there you go. Thanks for the questions. Send more, but send them to my inbox. I hate going back to my fucking videos just to get a fucking question. So send them to my inbox, and then when it's time for me to do a video, all I gotta do is pull it up and fucking go down the list. You know, convenience, folks, convenience. So, anyways, thank you for sending in your questions. Send them to my inbox. Send in more. You know, I like to have more of a variety from different people. Mind you, if you've already sent one in, doesn't mean you can't send any more in, or even more than one at a time. So, once again, thank you, and I hope I answered to my best. Fuck, I gotta quit saying that. I said it like 12 fucking times now. God damn it. Anyways, I'm out. Peace. See you in the flip side.